Borrowing from the title of this program, the BJP is saying the buck actually stops with the Prime Minister when it comes to the missing coal files. Let's take you now to the debate. The focus of our program tonight is the Prime Minister now getting burnt by the coal fire. Let's introduce our guest this evening. We're keeping this panel non-political today because we want to get a sense from some of the top lawyers of this country as to what they think the culpability and the accountability of the Prime Minister and the government should be. Joining us today is Harish Salve. He is, of course, the former Solicitor General of India as well as one of our most preeminent advocates. Also joining us is KTS Tulsi. He's a senior advocate with the Supreme Court. From Pune tonight, well-known commentator and journalist Dilip Padgaonkar is joining us, and we'll also be joined shortly by Dushyant Dave, also a Supreme Court senior advocate. Harish Salve, let me start with you. You've seen the shenanigans in Parliament. It looked like coal would disrupt both houses again. They worked out some sort of compromise. But Arun Jaitley says that the Prime Minister is using silence as a weapon for concealment. Do you agree with that? Do you believe that the Prime Minister is legally and morally accountable for the missing files?
Barkha, let's be very clear. The moral accountability of the entire allocation has to be with the captain of the team.
Yeah.
So I don't think there is any issue on that. The bad feeling which I am getting is, following the hearings in court, that they possibly realized that there is not a hope in hell of defending the allotments in court, and they are most likely going to be quashed. So let us see how we can protect some people. Now God knows at which level this is being done. It all depends, and the mystery, the key to the mystery lies with the CBI. Whom were they investigating? Whom were they suspecting? It could be the beneficiaries who made the file disappear. It could have been the junior officials whose signatures are on the file, somebody who has made wrong representations.
But in that case,
I would not leap to a conclusion.
On the Prime Minister, in that case, what is his accountability? When you say morally the captain of the team is accountable, what should that do to what the CBI tells the Supreme? But legally, what happens? Legally, the Prime Minister was also coal minister.
I am very disappointed at the statement that he was not the custodian of the files. Nobody suggests that a minister keeps files in lock and key. The point is, in a matter of this enormity, we are not talking of distribution of gas cylinder agencies or distribution of kerosene licenses. You are talking of the nation's energy security. The whole idea of diluting the nationalization law in favor of private players was to bolster the nation's energy security. In a matter of this moment, if the files of a ministry cannot be found, I think clearly the head of the ministry owes an answer, whoever he may be. The answer is not that, oh, but I didn't keep the files in my custody. You owe it to conduct an in-depth inquiry. In fact, he should have filed an FIR with the CBI saying, please investigate my office, me and everybody around me.
You're saying the Prime Minister should have filed the FIR. You're saying the PM himself should have filed the FIR. Interesting point there. Interesting point raised by Harish Salve, because even the Supreme Court has spoken about why no FIR has been filed in the case. Now, let me apprise you, gentlemen, of the fact that as we look at missing accountability, there was also a missing minister today. The Prime Minister, of course, is outside India. The opposition has objected to the fact that he has not rebutted any of their charges. But the coal minister himself was missing in the debate. So you have missing files and a missing minister. KTS Tulsi, what is the personal accountability of the Prime Minister? Is he not the captain of the ship? Can he turn around and say, I'm not the custodian of the files? Can he always use this one arm's length principle that he used as well in the 2G scam to say, this has nothing to do with me, I wasn't involved in this? Isn't that being a poor leader by constantly disassociating yourself from what's happening on your watch?
No. I personally think that so far as the question of missing files is concerned, it is a much worse crime than the original allocation, because no one can be allowed to subvert the judicial system. The CAG had arrived at certain conclusions, and those conclusions are now being investigated formally by the CBI. The question is, no one is going to get away, and in any case, whatever those files contained is available in the copies of the documents that are retained by the CAG. The question is, today, we can't say that the files are missing or stolen. That's jumping to the conclusion. That's premature entirely.
So what do you think, Mr. Tulsi,
These
has happened to the files? 1 minute. You're saying the same thing the Prime Minister
Yes.
said, that it's too early to decide the files are missing. The opposition is saying the files are not missing, they're stolen. You're saying they're not missing. Where do you
Supreme
think
Court has answered that question.
Where do you think they are? The
Supreme Court answered that
Supreme Court
question.
has also spoken about, let me read out to you what the Supreme Court has said. Supreme Court has said, is this an attempt to destroy records? You cannot sit over documents required by the CBI. There cannot
You're
be
talking
any
about oral
justification.
observations.
There cannot be any justification for not providing documents. The files are lost or stolen. Why haven't you lodged an FIR? Mr. Tulsi.
On 29th of August,
Yes.
the order of the Supreme Court is within 5 days, the CBI will give the list. And within 2 weeks, those will be provided. And if they are not furnished, in that case, an FIR will be lodged. But today, are we all questioning the judgment of the Supreme Court? We are not willing to wait for 2 weeks? What is it? There is 1,50,000 pages of record which was given to the CBI. Initially, CBI said that there were 225 files which were missing.
That's the other
And
mystery.
thereafter, when they examined that record, they found that no, it has come down to 157.
I'll tell you this,
from
Mr. Tulsi,
225.
with all respect, what's really confusing for the citizen, and I'll get Harish in briefly and then go to Dushyant, is how the numbers keep changing. And I just want to bring this graphic up.
No.
Look at
Can
Mr. Tulsi.
I just take a second?
Okay, take a second. Then I want to read out these numbers to you of how the numbers of files missing has constantly changed.
The CBI found those records in different files. Now, maybe when the files came back from the CAG, some of the papers get mixed up with different files.
Okay.
But those 1,50,000 are yet to be examined.
Okay, Harish, come in there and then there's
missing
Dushyant.
or stolen is premature.
Okay, Harish, go ahead. Yeah, Harish.
What are we talking about? We are talking about a national resource which was nationalized because it was too precious to be left to private interests. We are then talking of Parliament saying, all right, we will allow a limited relaxation, provided the government very carefully allows some private players in coal. Coal is one of the world's most precious resources. Indians are going begging, looking for coal all over the world. A government says, I don't know how many files, maybe they are here, maybe they are there. What were these files? They were distributing food stamps or were they distributing coal?
Yeah.
I mean, what is going on in this country?